Hi, everybody, and welcome to Lockdown Brewers. I'm going to go down this road that we've been down and kind of died a couple of years ago. But the Brewers are not playing on the same playing field as the Dodgers. And maybe I'm angry because they dropped 2 or 3, and we're just in this funk for the last 2 weeks, I feel, with Brewer baseball. We're going to get into that. We'll recap the game. Clayton Kershaw is making about $100 million a year. All that and more coming up next here on Lockdown Brewers.
You are Locked On Brewers, your daily Milwaukee Brewers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I don't want to make excuses for the Milwaukee Brewers, but I'm going to right here. Yeah, the Brewers aren't on the same playing field with the LA Dodgers. I knew that going in. We all knew that going in. There's a number of teams that the Brewers are not on the same playing field with, and it's a problem that never gets corrected. We'll recap this game coming up here in just a bit and talk a little bit about that and a few other things as well, and just a dumb decision by Major League Baseball. Brewer game, well, you're going to have to pay for it on Friday night if you want to watch it on TV. We'll get to that coming up here in a little bit. Meanwhile, great to have you on Locked On Brewers. I'm your host, Chuck Freeman, first-year host here, but many of you know me from being a longtime sportscaster in Milwaukee, sports talk show host, the morning sports anchor at 1310 WIBA in Madison, cover the Brewers for AP Radio as well over 40 years. But like you, the Brewers are my favorite sports team, my favorite professional sports team, and I love covering them, and I love watching them and following them, and I get frustrated when I see them lose to a big market team like this, okay, when the Brewers can't compete with their payroll. We'll get to that coming up here in a little bit. First of all, the Brewers are 20-17 now, going into an off day on Thursday, got the Kansas City Royals. We're going to get into all that coming up here in the next half hour. Thank you for joining us. If this is your first time, hey, welcome aboard. You find us on Google. You find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, of course. If you're watching us, YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit that little bell there. It's going to alert you every time we drop an episode here on Locked On Brewers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. And this show is brought to you by GameTime. GameTime, a wonderful sponsor. And of course, I'm a big time endorser of GameTime. I use it myself. Download the GameTime app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONMLB, $20 off your first purchase. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. That is GameTime. Yeah, if you find us on any of your podcast sites, and of course on YouTube, and of course follow me on Twitter, Chuck Freeman, FREIMUND. Always love hearing from you and seeing what you got to say. I put a few things out there on Twitter, the big market, small market thing, and your reaction to a Brewer loss today. Locked On Brewers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. Yes, we are here every day after every Brewer game, talking Brewers baseball with you. That's what we do. And this team frustrates us sometimes. And today, lost 8-1 to the LA Dodgers, and got behind in the middle part of this game, middle part of the innings, this game in the middle innings. Dodgers scored 2 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, and 4 in the 6th inning. And yeah, it was not a good start for Wade Miley. And you know what? Wade is going to get a mulligan here because he's been so good for this team, and he's a number 5 starter. Okay. He's the guy at the back end of the rotation. Not that he can't pitch like a frontline guy, because he has, but Wade Miley gave up 3 home run balls today. And against a team like the Dodgers, a loaded lineup with, $1 billion payroll, that is understandable. Okay. That the Brewers are going to drop 2 or 3 to the Dodgers, who, again, they're going to work the system, and they're going to continue to sign high price guys, just like the Yankees do, and some of these other teams. They're just going to, in the meantime, here in Milwaukee, we're just fighting for the scraps with the Pittsburgh Pirates of the world and teams like that, just fighting for the scraps. Major League Baseball wants maybe like 6 teams to be good, just like the NBA. They want like 6 teams to be good. The rest of us, we're just jobbers to these big market teams. And a jobber is an enhancement wrestler who you've all watched pro wrestling where you look at two guys wrestling and you see one guy does not have a shot in the ring when he's wrestling Hulk Hogan or Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm going way back here. I don't know if enhancement wrestling talent is being used anymore, but that's what the Milwaukee Brewers basically are to Major League Baseball. We're enhancement talent guys because they don't want us. No, they don't want us to go to the World Series. Yeah, a nice little story, draw some headlines of winning a division title, but they want the same teams in there every year. Otherwise, we'd have a salary cap and the Players Association as a big part of it. Okay. Yeah, the Brewers lost this game in the middle innings, and then they ran into Clayton Kershaw, who's making, $50 billion a year. Kershaw was great, 1 run over 7 innings. And on the show last night, I told you how just how bad the numbers were for the Brewers against Clayton Kershaw. The numbers were not good outside of Christian Yelich, who had pretty healthy numbers. But 3 home run balls, and this was game, set, and match. And they weren't going to win this game once they got down early in this game. Once it got to about 4-0, not coming back against Clayton Kershaw. Luke Voigt provided the only excitement of the day. He did double off Kershaw, broke like a 2 for 30 slump against left-handed pitching with like 17 Ks. He doubled off of Kershaw. It was an amazing moment. Of course, didn't matter because the game was out of reach. And the Brewers went on to lose this game. The Cardinals lost, and another jobber, the Pittsburgh Pirates, also lost. So we're going to get into that. We're going to get into Major League Baseball, just making you work to find Brewers baseball or anybody on a Friday night. We'll talk about that coming up. A really stupid decision by the Major League Baseball in the offseason. I'll get to that coming up here in a little bit. First, want to tell you, though, about GameTime. GameTime is, I was telling you about this a little while ago. GameTime, amazing place to find tickets. Download the GameTime app. They have flash deals, last-minute tickets, easy to find and buy tickets for any kind of event in your area. You get images of the seat views, so you click on a seat, you just know exactly where you're going to be sitting in any ballpark or any concert venue or theater or wherever. It's amazing, these tickets. The views of where your seats are going to be. Lowest price guaranteed, event cancellation protection, and job loss protection. Forget planning months in advance. Get your tickets at the last second here. I mean, I've done that for Brewer tickets on GameTime. I got seats right behind the visitors' dugout last year when the Blue Jays were in town. My kid wanted to go see Vladdy and the rest of those guys, Bichette, because that's what he likes. So we got great seats right behind the Blue Jay dugout. And I didn't want to see the Blue Jays. I'm there to see the Brewers, but my kid wanted to see those guys, and we got tickets for like $19, I believe it is, right behind the dugout. And that was through last minute tickets at GameTime. Now download the GameTime app, create an account, use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB, $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code, use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20. Download the GameTime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. And again, those images, you can see right where you're going to sit, wherever you're going to buy your tickets from, concerts, theater, sporting events, you name it. It is on the GameTime app. All right, Chuck Freeman here on Locked On Brewers. Appreciate all you everydayers out there following us on your favorite podcast site or here on YouTube. And of course, the Brewers play coming up on Friday, 7:05 with that first pitch, 7:10 with that first pitch. They'll take on the Kansas City Royals in a first of 3 with the Royals, as we see an American League team. We saw a few American League teams last week coming into, the week before that West Coast road trip. So 7:10 with that first pitch, Brewers and Royals. The hometown broadcast, Sirius XM, the SXM app, search Brewers to get the Brewers and Royals coming up Friday night, every game on Sirius XM. But if you want to watch the game on TV locally in Wisconsin, you can't buy it. I mean, you can buy it, but you can't watch it on Bally Sports because, well, this is going to be one of the games that the Brewers are on Apple TV. Just ridiculous for a sport that is just dying for baseball fans. Okay, this isn't like the 70s where baseball was thriving and people were tripping over themselves to watch the game. Now, Major League Baseball is further taking fans for granted by making you download the Apple TV app, okay, and pay money to watch your favorite baseball team on a Friday night. Now, this is the first time the Brewers are on Apple TV. They're on 3 more times after this. June 2nd, 16th, and 30th. So every other Friday night for the next month, you're going to have to pony up some money to watch the Milwaukee Brewers on a Friday night. You just can't go into your favorite sports bar, your favorite place where you want to get a Friday fish fry on a Friday night and say, hey, put the Brewers game on, because chances are they do not have Apple TV and you are screwed. So you can't go, unless you go to the game Friday night, you're not going to be able to watch the game unless you pay for it. You should not have to pay to watch your local baseball team, basketball team, football team in action. Shouldn't have to, especially the state Major League Baseball is, where they're losing the younger fan, okay? And we're all aboard at the Milwaukee Brewers here in Wisconsin. We all are. And we want to see the team play on a Friday night. Yeah, I'm going to go out for a little fish fry. I'm going to do a little golf. Want to go to my favorite pub to have a Friday night fish fry. Hey, turn the Brewers game on. Oh, that's right. They're on Apple TV. Well, I guess you guys didn't pay, and I understand that. You don't have to pay for that. You shouldn't have to be paying to watch the team. Okay, I guess we're not going to watch the Brewers tonight. Sirius XM, yes, great way to listen to the game, but we want to watch the game. Okay, we want to be able to watch the game. Just a dumb decision by Major League Baseball. Just dumb. And I put a little tweet out there a little while ago before coming on the show. I don't know how much traction it got, but about 5 minutes up, I thought I'll put a tweet up. Putting MLB games on Apple TV ranks right up there with another bad decision by MLB. Friday's Brewer game will be on Apple TV, a paid service, not Bally. Stupid, stupid, stupid. All right, Tony from Texas says, Chuck, I enjoy the Apple presentation. The picture pops. They have good announcers, nice graphics. I politely disagree. I want to hear my guys. I want to hear my announcers, the guys who are pulling for my team. I want to hear if it's Levering, if it's BA, if it's Rock, Ratino, Dillard. I want to see those guys. I want to hear those guys call my team because I know they're watching my team play. I don't want to hear the national guys. I want, it's going to work for football. Okay, the Packers, but my guy, I want to see my guys. I want to hear my guys who watch and cover this team and do all their prep for my team in the pre-games and the post-game shows. I want to see my announcers. I don't want to see out-of-town announcers doing the games. The Brewers, they're not good enough for Sunday Night Baseball. They're never on Sunday Night Baseball. But let's throw them 4 times on Apple TV and make people pay for it. Sunday Night Baseball, you'd be hard-pressed to count on one hand all the times the Brewers are on Sunday Night Baseball. Oh, you'll see the same teams, the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Red Sox. You'll see the same teams run out there. But with Apple TV, they're giving everybody a shot to watch it. You know why? Because they want to dig into everybody's wallet to make them pay. The Brewers and Royals, you'll never see that matchup on Sunday Night Baseball at ESPN. But sure enough, you're going to have to pay for it on Apple TV. Matthew writes, cool, I can finally watch a game. Well, you're probably calling from outside the area. Okay. You can finally watch a game, but the Major League Baseball internet extra innings, that one I can understand to pay for. I get it. I want to watch other teams play. I might lay some money down on some of those other games. Yeah, that might be one of the reasons why I get it. But yeah, the extra inning app or whatever, MLB.com, where you got to pay the $120 or whatever for the whole year. I get that. But in Wisconsin, where you can't, if you bought that from Major League Baseball, you can't watch the Brewers on there. You can't. They block it out. They black it out. So, but if I'm in Wisconsin, I shouldn't have to pay. If I am living within the boundaries of Wisconsin, okay, where the restrictions are, I shouldn't have to be paying to watch Major League Baseball. Yeah, okay, outside the state of Wisconsin. But I'm mostly talking about, the people who are in the great state of Wisconsin get screwed because they got to pay Apple TV to watch the game. Nick says, I disagree. They have a good broadcast and presentation. Yeah, it's a pay service, but so is Bally if you don't have cable. Well, okay. if you cut the cord, you don't have cable anymore. But no, I disagree. Bally's part of the cable. I get DirecTV. All right. Bally's part of the cable package, the DirecTV package. I guess indirectly you're paying for it. But so I have to pay for Bally, okay, I guess, my DirecTV package or your cable package, because still a lot of people got that, okay? Plus, I have to pay for Apple TV. So I'm going to have to pay for DirecTV in this case, and I can't watch the Brewers, but I also got to pay for Apple TV. Makes no sense to me. Again, just screwing the fans one more time. So the 2nd, the 16th, 30th, and this Friday night, you're going to have to pay for it extra on Apple TV. And you know what? From what I understand, too, the picture, yeah, I heard some people say the picture and the angles are great. But if you have a bad internet connection, okay, and or whatever, and it freezes up, because let's face it, some of those NFL games last year were freezing up on Prime. They were freezing up on a Thursday night. All right. And you face the same type of thing here. Let's say if you live in a rural area and you don't have strong internet, okay, your picture is probably going to freeze up. If you pay the whatever it is, and you're going to watch Brewer baseball, and you turn it on, and you got Rowdy Tellez frozen like this for 10 minutes. Just dumb. Okay. Again, taking advantage of fans. That's what we do. We love taking advantage of fans. NFL does the same thing. All right. May 10th, 1990. Is today May 10th, 1990? Today is May 10th, 1990. It's always a day where all the meteorologists in the state of Wisconsin, in particular in southeast Wisconsin, put down that, well, May 10th, we've seen back in 1990, 5 to 8 inches of snow in Milwaukee. Now, the Brewers, I always look back, and the Brewers were out of town that day. 1990, they went on to lose 90 games, but they got off to a 17-9 start. Thank goodness they played. There was an off day, and they played the next day in Minnesota, and they got a 6-3 win. But there was no baseball. They had just escaped town that Wednesday for a day game, and then they went up to Minneapolis and played a Friday game. So they missed the 5 to 8 inches of snow that were at County Stadium, the open-air County Stadium at the time. But the Brewers got a 17-9 start. Probably was their high water mark of 1990, because that season came crashing down very, very quickly. And then Tom Trebelhorn was the manager of that team. And then by the end of 91, I think he fought to a 500 mark, but the Brewers had enough of Treb, and who I liked, and then he brought in Phil Garner. St. Louis lost, and so did Pittsburgh. The Brewers stay 7.5, I want to say, in front of the Cardinals. Yeah, the Brewers are 7.5 in front of the Cardinals, who are dead last at 13-25 in the division. Pittsburgh also lost. Pittsburgh's lost 9 of 10. And the Brewers, despite how bad they are, they're only a half a game. How bad they've been here in the last 2 weeks. They're only a half a game behind the 21-17 Pittsburgh Pirates. Thank God. Chuck Freeman here on Locked On Brewers. I want to tell you about Sorare right now. Sorare, one of our new sponsors here on Locked On Brewers. Sorare is a revolutionary fantasy baseball game and marketplace, transforming fans into owners with officially licensed digital cards featuring players from across all 30 teams. Unlike other fantasy baseball platforms, Sorare managers truly own their own fantasy experience, collecting, buying, selling, competing with player cards against global opponents to win epic awards. Win or lose, you still own your cards, and there's no cost to play. Plus, the more you win, the more you advance. Well, you get more powerful cards, and you get next level rewards. Sorare game weeks, twice weekly, a span of a 3 or 4 day cycle. At the end of the week, MLB managers who rank near or at the top of their leaderboards win a variety of prizes, game tickets, merchandise, signed jerseys. So head to sorare.com/lockdown. That's Sorare, SORARE.com to draft your team of free player cards. Set your lineup. Start competing today with epic awards. Again, sorare.com/lockdown to start playing today. Chuck Freeman here on Locked On Brewers on the Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. Brewers and the Kansas City Royals Friday night. You get them on Sirius XM on the SXM app, 7:10 with that first pitch. And what's great about Sirius XM, if you're outside of Wisconsin, of course, which many of you people are who watch this show, you can hear Brewers baseball all across the country on Sirius XM. Brewers and Royals coming up at a first of 3 on Friday night. The Royals come to town. I got to check the pitching matchup. I did not check the pitching matchup for Friday's game. Friday, let's see who's up next. 7:10 first pitch. The Royals have not named their starter, the 11-27 Royals. But hey, we took the Rockies lightly, I guess, and they swept the 3-game series from us. Corbin Burns on the hill in the opener of the 3-game set versus the Royals coming up on Friday. I was going to get to the box score for Wednesday's game. Didn't get to it in the previous segment. But the Brewers, not a lot of action on their end. Owen Miller led off, played second base. He went 1 for 3. William Contreras went 1 for 4. William Adames went 1 for 4. They dropped Christian Yelich down to the 4th spot, who's been their best hitter against Clayton Kershaw over the years. But he went 0 for 3. Brasso went 1 for 3. Anderson went 0 for 3. Voit got the 1 base hit. He also struck out twice. Tyrone Taylor went 0 for 3. Joey Weimer went 0 for 2. Winker pinch hit went 0 for 1. Now the brutal pitching line for Wade Miley. 5 innings pitched, 6 hits, 7 runs. They were earned, 3 Ks, 3 home runs on 94 pitches. Yep, definitely was a bad outing. Colin Ray pitched 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, 1 earned run. Piamps got into the game. Piamps continuing to look good out there. Inning in a third, 1 hit. Hobie Milner. Yeah, Hobie finally had a clean inning. 1 inning, 1 strikeout. Devin Williams. It's sad that you got to throw Devin Williams in an 8-1 game because he's been used so little. Devin, 1 inning. Once again in a non-save situation. 20-17, and we just trying to find work for Devin Williams these days because the Brewers are either blowing out teams or they're getting blown out themselves. Let's read some tweets to wrap this up. Let's see what y'all had to say about today's game. And follow me on Twitter at Chuck Freeman, FREIMUND. I said, way to ruin a beautiful day at Miller Park. 75 degrees. It was fantastic outside. And the Brewers found a way to ruin the day. Perry says that lineup is too good. Baseball is so unfair. And he's talking about the Dodgers, which we talked about earlier here in the show. John writes, yep. Brewers, I knew they were not going to take 2 or 3 with Kershaw on the hill, the bad numbers. Let's be done with the Luke Voit experience. He was their hitting star today with the 1 hit, a ringing double. All right, that's going to do it. Man, I'm telling you, I'm just so upset and seeing the Brewers fans having to pay for, right? Because you know what? Because people are going to not know about this yet. And I saw it was mentioned in the Journal Sentinel. But people are going to go try to turn on Bally Sports on Friday night. You know what? I'm thinking of the older generation too. You know, the older generation, you know, that great generation that we like to kick under the curb once in a while. You know, they don't want to use the smart TV and go to Apple and watch the game. They want to be able to go to Bally, go to 669 on DirecTV. You know, let's make it tougher on people, especially that great older generation of ours who, you know, that we should be looking after as well. But yet, you know, we're gonna make them search out for Apple TV. Yeah, we'll see how that goes on Friday night for everybody. All right, that's gonna do it. Again, Brewers and the Royals Friday night, 7:10. Catch every pitch of Brewers hometown broadcast, Sirius XM on the SXM app. Search Brewers. Find us on Google. Find us on Spotify. Find us on the Apple. On the Apple app. on the Apple downloads. Okay. I get it. All right, time to check out before I get in trouble. I'm just disgusted. And you know what? The big market, small market thing, I'm tired of that as well. I didn't even get into that. I was supposed to get into that, and I never did. Yeah, we're not playing on the same playing field as the LA Dodgers. Didn't take a genius to figure that one out. Yeah, what are they spending? $240 million. $226 million is their payroll. The Brewers' payroll, $118 million. Shocking. Okay. Yeah, Tony Clark reiterated in spring training, the head of the Players Association. Oh, we don't want a salary cap. Oh, no. Baseball is just fine the way it is. Yeah. And you see the NL Central and the Pittsburgh Pirates at 21-17, barely holding their head above water. And the Brewers right behind them. It's going to do it. We'll talk to you later in the week, everybody. Brewers and Royals coming up on Friday. Have yourself a great Thursday, and appreciate you joining us. Locked On Brewers on the Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day.